Hey y'all, it's your favorite piano teacher, Ms. Cece, and welcome back to my classroom, Ms.Cece'S classroom. And on today's class, we will be learning about notes, rests, note durations, and restorations. Three main objectives for today are to 1, learn what exactly are notes, rests, and their durations. 2, we're going to learn how to create different rhythms with different combinations of those notes and rests. And for our last and third thing, we're going to learn how to count and clap the rhythms that we create. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you guys, so there are 5 different type of notes that we're going to be learning about today. We have a whole note, then we have a half note, then we have a quarter note, then we have an 8th note, and then we have a 16th note. Now, as you guys can see on this chart, I have written out for you what the different type of notes look like in their note duration. So, your new vocabulary word for today, for this class, is note. Note duration is defined as the length of time for which a note is supposed to be sustained. So, in other words, note duration is letting us know how long we have to play a certain note. Starting with our whole note has the longest note duration of 4 beats. And another way to remember how to distinguish a whole note is to remember that a whole note is the only note that does not have a stem. So you see all these other stems? Remember, a whole note does not have that. Now, just for the sake of learning about our different note durations, we're going to learn these durations as if they were in a time signature of 4/4. Now, if you guys remember from last class, how do we define a top signature? The top note tells us how many beats are in each measure, and the bottom note tells us what note receives 1 beat. So if we're in the key signature of 4/4, that means there are going to be 4 beats in each measure, and the quarter note will receive 1 beat. Okay. So as I already said, our whole note has 4 beats. Now moving on to our half note, which has a value of 2 beats. Then our quarter note has a value of 1 beat. Then our 8th note has that value of half a beat. And then our 16th note has a value of 1/8 of a beat. Now another pattern that I want you guys to notice is from our top and longest duration, 4 beats, it is cut in half all the way down as you move through the notes. So 4 beats, cut it in half, which is 2. Then you cut it in half again, which is 1. Then you cut it in half, which is a half. Then you cut it in half again, which is 1/8. So that's another pattern to remember the values of these notes when you're in the key signature of 4/4. So now, just as some reinforcement, I wanted to show you guys this flow chart that I've made. We're still counting these note durations as if we were in the time signature of 4/4. So remember, our whole note has the longest duration, and that duration is 4 beats, okay? So let's split it in half. Split it in half. We have a half note, then a half note. 2 beats right here, 2 beats right here. So 2 plus 2 equals 4, okay? Let's cut it in half once again. So a half note equals 2 beats. So quarter note here, quarter note here. And the quarter note has the value of how many beats? Just 1. So 1 plus 1 equals 2, okay? 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Hope you guys are catching on to the pattern. And that goes so on and so forth for our 8th notes and our 16th notes. Okay, now that we have learned about our notes and their durations, it is now time to learn about our rests and their durations as well. In music, a rest indicates a period of silence within that measure. So just as you have 5 different type of notes, you have 5 different type of rests. You have a whole rest, a half rest, quarter rest, 8th rest, and a 16th rest. Now, as you guys have probably already figured out, a rest is the complete opposite of notes. So with the notes you have sound, and with the rest you have silence, because the music is in the sound, in the silence. No. So starting from the top, this is our whole rest, and this is our symbol for a whole rest. Now, another way that you can remember how to write a whole rest is that it is an upside down hat. You see that? See how they look like hats? But this one, upside down, okay? And our half rest is a right side up hat, so a regular shaped hat. When you're playing a whole rest, you're gonna rest for 4 beats, okay? Heard my vocabulary. Instead of playing for 4 beats as you would with a whole note, you're gonna rest for 4 beats as you would with a whole rest. Now, half rest, you're gonna rest for 2 beats. A quarter rest, you're gonna rest for 1 beat. An eighth rest, you're gonna rest for half of a beat. In a 16th rest, you're gonna rest for an eighth of a beat. Now that we've learned about notes, rest, and their durations, it's now time to learn how to create different type of rhythms by using different combinations of these notes in their rest. Now, we're creating these different type of rhythms. You can practice them at home or alone or while you're practicing. I've created these 6 different combinations that include, for the majority, all the different type of notes and rests that we have learned. For each of my combinations, I made my time signature 4/4. So that means there's going to be 4 beats in each of these measures, okay? So let's start with our first one. A half note has a value of how many beats? 2. A quarter note has a value of how many beats? 1. 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. Okay, now you have to always remember that according to your time signature, whatever combination you have of these notes, they must always equal up to this top number. So with that little tidbit of information, it is now time to go to the whiteboard so we can write down these patterns. And now it's time for me to teach you how to count and clap these patterns. So let's go. Okay, you guys, we made it to the whiteboard, and as you can see, I have written out the 6 patterns that I showed you guys earlier. Now, it is time for us to learn about the technique of counting and clapping rhythms. Now, counting and clapping rhythms is just that, but there is a certain way that you count and clap certain notes and certain rests. So, for instance, I'm going to show you guys how we will count and clap a whole note, a half note, and a quarter note. So, starting with our whole note, a whole note has how many beats? 4 beats, okay? So this is how we will go about counting and clapping a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you guys to know this, my posture and how I just count and clap. So instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, I rotated my arms and wrists. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole note is not broken up into 4 beats, and 4 beats is the note duration. You want to keep it connected the entire time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now going on to a half note. Now we are still working with a time signature of 4/4. So 2 half notes will have the equivalent of 4 beats. So I want to show you guys how I would count and clap a half note and how you guys should too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, half note has how many beats? 2 beats, okay? So 2 half notes have a total of 4 beats. Let's show it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you guys to count and clap a whole note and a half note with me. So let's count and clap our whole note. I'll start first and then you guys count and clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now your turn. Ready? Clap. Now you guys turn. Ready? 1, 2, ready, clap. Excellent job. Now let's count and clap 2 half notes, okay? Watch me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's your turn. 1, 2, ready, clap. Excellent job. How we will go about counting and clapping our quarter notes, we're in the time signature of 4/4. So that means we're going to count and clap 4 quarter notes to have 4 beats. This is how we will count and clap our quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now your turn. 1, 2, ready, clap. Excellent job. I'm still going to show you guys how to count and clap our wrists, but I'm going to wait until we get to these last 3 examples right here. So let's start with counting and clapping our rhythms, starting with our first one. We have a half note followed by 2 quarter notes, okay? So a half note has a value of 2 beats, quarter note has 1, and another quarter note has 1. So 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4 beats. Now I want you guys to watch me count and clap, and then you're going to do it yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now your turn. 1, 2, ready, clap. Excellent job. We have a quarter note followed by 2/8 notes, a quarter note, and 2/8 notes again. So this time when it comes to counting and clapping our eighth notes, we subdivide. So it's going to be 1 and. So now that we have our eighth notes in the midst, we're going to subdivide it since we have 2/8 notes. So we're going to count and clap it as 1 and. Okay? So 1, 2, and 3, 4 and. Now watch me count and clap. 1, 2, and 3, 4 and. Now your turn. 1, 2, ready, clap. Excellent job. This time we have 4 16th notes, 2/8 notes, a quarter note, and a quarter note. So once again, with our 16th notes, we're going to subdivide it, but our syllables that we're going to use are 1 E and a. Okay? We'll count it as 1 E and a, 2 and 3, 4. Okay? Watch me count and clap. 1 E and a, 2 and 3, 4. Watch me do it one more time. 1 E and a, 2 and 3, 4. Now your turn. 1, 2, ready. Excellent job. So now we have made it to our last 3 rhythms, and these rhythms include the rest that we were learning about earlier. Since the rest indicates a period of silence within the music, there's a certain way that you would count and clap rhythms that have rest in them. So for our first one, we have a half rest followed by a quarter note followed by a quarter rest. Now remember, a half rest has the same note duration as a half note, which means that when we count and clap, that is still going to be connected. Let me demonstrate how we would count and clap this rhythm. Shh, shh, shh. So notice that I didn't count and clap the rest because the rest indicates silence, so there is no sound. Another way that you can also do it is just muting yourself when you're saying the numbers. So instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, you say 3. But I personally prefer that my students learn shh, shh, 3, shh, because that way it's helping you acknowledge the silence. Now it's your turn. I want you to count and clap this rhythm for me just as I did it. So 1, 2, ready, and clap. Did you do your shh? I don't think you did it, so we're going to do it again. So 1, 2, ready, count and clap. Excellent job. 2/8 notes, a quarter rest, a quarter note, followed by a quarter rest. Watch me count and clap this rhythm. 1 and shh, 3, shh. Do it one more time. 1 and shh, 3, shh. That's your turn. Ready, and clap, and. Excellent job. Now for our very final one, we have 2/8 notes, 2/8 rest, a quarter note, and a quarter rest. I will demonstrate once again. 1 and shh, shh, 3, shh. It's your turn. I want you to count and clap just as I did it. Ready, and clap. Excellent job. Once again, I hope that you guys learned a lot. Let's review what we had to learn today. So first thing we learned about was the different types of notes, their rests and their durations, and what note duration meant. 2, we learned how to create different type of rhythm combinations with those notes and rests that we learned about. And the last thing we learned how to do was how to count and clap the rhythms that we created. So I hope you guys take the time to go home, create your own different type of rhythm patterns, send some of them to me, practice them at home, practice them while you're practicing. Just practice them. I cannot wait to see you guys next time because I have a riddle that I want you guys to solve. So your riddle is to figure out how to count and clap these 2 rhythms by next week. Have fun with that. Until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go practice. Bye.